Okay, my name is Mike Martin, and part of the Brain team with MSH. And I saw a topic today I wanted to talk about on HeliFreak, and I started to respond to it on the forum, but I felt like a video might be a little better and more informative method of going about this. Basically, one user tried to assist another user with a problem that one of them was having, and he was only trying to help, but ultimately the information that was shared was very bad or wrong information. And I know he's probably doing what he thought was right and what he thought has worked for him in the past, and maybe his helicopter is actually working, but should try to use the advanced features or the features in general. It may fly and correct properly when you're in normal flight modes, but I imagine if you went to try to do an auto level bailout type rescue or what have you, the odds of it driving your helicopter into the ground with the methods that he was discussing would more than likely end catastrophically. And not to mention, it's very dangerous in general. So I wanted to do a little video real quick going over some of what to do and what not to do, and ultimately as well the reason why I made the videos I made in the first place was just to kind of help those who felt like they had to go into the advanced menu for just the initial setup to understand why this is not a good idea, especially if you're new to the Brain or Icon, Track X, whichever, and trying to set it up, and maybe you got a lot of experience with flybarred helis or even another brand of flybarless controller, but I can speak for certain on the Brain or Icon or Track X, any of the others with the same system that is the MSH flybarless controller, that there is no need at all to go to the auto or to go to the advanced menus during the setup process to get your helicopter to correcting in the proper direction or anything of that nature involving the transmitter setup or anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here demo mode, and I'm going to load one of my helicopter setups and use it to share how I set mine up and what to not do. Like I said, I'm not trying to say anything negative towards anybody, and I'm not trying to call anybody out. I just want to make sure that I want to try my best to get information out there that is good and accurate, and to avoid anybody doing something that might cost them their model, or worse, cost them a trip to the hospital or the morgue even, all over an accident or not understanding. So anyways, here we go. I'm going to go down over here and I'm going to load. Let's see what comes up first. The Protos Max. Let's see here. I guess I'm not very good at putting which version. That's it. We'll just use this one. I know it's off of public version 50 of the firmware 0.050, but 0.050 to 0.051 is very close. So basically what the users were doing, go to the advanced mode. Let's go to basic first and double check Make sure everything loaded. DSMX. And it's not going to say much. 333, yes. Alright. 120. Okay, so that tells us that my Protos Max loaded. Now, if you're setting your helicopter up, if you follow these directions here and you get your radio transmitter, when you get full aileron deflection to the right, this slider should go all the way to the right, and this should go to a 100 value. I believe to the right would be a positive 100. When you give a left command completely to the left, you should get 100 as well, and the little slider in the middle should go all the way left, and this will give a negative 100% value. And if you're plus or minus a 99 to 101, 102, as long as this little box highlights green, you're good. But ultimately you want to try to hit 100%, 100 and 100 in every direction. Elevator nose down, the slider should move to the downside and you should see 100. Up, the slider should move to the upside when you pull the elevator stick back. Same thing, tail, same thing. Nose right, 100%, with the slider all the way to the right. Nose left, 100% negative, with the slider all the way to the left. When you are done with this setup right here and you get 100 in every direction and the slider here in the middle is moving in the right direction each way, that's it. When you're done with this page, you're done. You do not have to go back into your radio at all anymore to reverse or change anything whatsoever. The only thing you will ever have to do is if you're controlling your gain with endpoints for your tail gain, go back in and adjust your endpoints after you've set it to the default 45% that it shows right here to start with. When you get to flying and you realize, yep, you got not enough gain, you want to raise it some so it locks the tail in better, that's the only time you go back in here. That's it. Just when you're doing that. Alright. That's literally it. I can't think of any other reason why you would need to go back into your endpoints and adjust anything whatsoever. And if you have your gain set to your tail heading hold gyro program, whatever in your radio, like what JR has and what Spectrum has for the tail gain, where you'll have 3 different values, then you would never have to go back into the endpoints again anyways. You could use that panel in your transmitter, but your endpoints and your channel direction is done once you leave this point. That's it. Now, once you get everything going the right direction, like it says here, go through the process, you set your servos, pick which swash best suits you and what matches yours. Go from here. The only thing here, and users who fly, I want to say, I think it's JR helicopters and Raptor, like the 700E Raptor. I think that swash is 135 degree swash, so you might have to go in there and tweak that a little bit. I think JR, well, never mind. JR's right here. I'm sorry. I'm mistaken. So basically, that's about it. You'll just, for the newer Raptors, you might have to go in and adjust something a little bit. Once you get this set to your directions, now here's another one. You have to, when you hit the plus button, your servo 1, which you plug servo 1 into whichever one you have selected, that SRV1, that's your servo 1. You plug your servo 1 into the servo 1 port on your brain. You hit this positive right here, and this value starts going up in a positive value. Then in your arm, if it's moving up, then you know you're good. If it's moving down when you're pushing this button, then you know it's backwards. So then you push this reverse button. Try it again. If it moves up this time, then leave it, go to the next one, check it. If it goes up, then great. Go to the third one. If it goes up, great. Well, if you go and you try the second one and it's going up, then you go to the third and it's going down when it should go up, hit the reverse again. Now keep in mind that when you do this, you're not reversing that individual servo. You're reversing a combination. You're going to a different combination of travel for these 3 servos, and I believe there's 9 different possible scenarios. So you might have to hit this reverse button 9 different times before you get the right selection. Keep that in mind. But just keep checking each one to make sure they're going in the proper direction. Once that's done, go over here, check your nose left, nose right. If that's all good, move on. If it's correcting and moving in the wrong, if whenever you give a nose left command, if your blades are moving in a manner so that it would actually go right, then you hit the servo reverse. And then check it again. Set your endpoints by hitting the button with your full deflection to the left. Whenever your slider bottoms out, back it off 1 click and call it good. Same with the nose right. Then this one here, pick which one suits you. Now the programmer has done a lot of work in this, and he has put every possible scenario that you could think to put for a brain for a selection here, with it presetting to the proper corrections. So just take the time to find which one best suits you to your setup, pick it. If your helicopter's setting level, go ahead and hit the set level now. If not, watch my videos and I talk about how to go about that in a little better way. Then move on, pick which one of these best suits you. There's your governor setup, get through that. Pick which one of these best suits you. I always pick pretty much the hardcore versions and start from there. Then when you get here, pick your helicopter up and rock it side to side, back and forth. Make sure the swash moves in a manner to attempt to stay level. And then pirouette the tail side to side too, with it cocked with your helicopter nose down, and try to turn it so that you can see if the swash is trying to stay level the whole time. If it is, you're good. Check the tail. If it's correcting in the right direction and trying to push the tail against the direction you're moving it, you know it's good. Under no circumstances, now I'm not trying to claim that I know everything about the brain or the advanced menus and what have you, but out of the past 3.5 years that I've been flying the brain, I have not once had to go into my systems in any way, shape, or form and adjust any of this. And that's the 3.5 years, and I can't count the helicopters that I've done for myself, for Bobby Jack's Hobby Shop, friends of mine, people asking for help. There's so many helicopters, I can't count them, how many, I can't remember them all. And not once have I ever had to go in here and adjust any of these. And this, I believe, is what the person on the forums was referring to. These do not, this aileron stabilization axis, -Z, if you look at mine, my elevator sensing axis, elevator stabilization axis, -Y. Elevator sensing axis is +Z. That's, I'm certain it has something to do with the self level and how it functions correctly. And this is probably something to do with the standard flight and how it senses correctly and to compensate in the right directions. But to be honest, I've never had to touch it, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If there's no reason why, if you follow the directions in the basic setup menu, that you will ever have to do anything involved with this, unless you're doing some really, really wild stuff that's on a whole nother level above most any of us. Then you'll never have to mess with any of this. And I almost feel confident to say this is more of a programmer's page for them. And at once upon a time, before the Brain programmer added all the selections that are here now, right on this page, maybe you would have had to go in there and figured out everything for one of these odd setups that, like, top up wires left type thing, or one of these top side up wires down or something. I don't know, but there's no way should a person have to go and mess with any of that. Please just if you're not sure about something, feel free to ask. Shoot me a message on the Snap. Alex, I'm sure he'll be happy to answer. Any of the guys, Cathane, I guess, Cathane is what he goes by. That guy, he's very knowledgeable as well. I'm certain if you message him, he'll answer any questions you have. I can't think of any one person that is knowledgeable on our little group that wouldn't take the time to help steer you in the right direction, or if not, get you to talking to someone who can get you going in the right direction. But any of the stuff, like the only I've had, now I'm not going to say I've never had to do any of these, because these I did have to with a JR11XG, and it took some really odd things to get it to work correctly, but it's because it was more of a airplane type radio that the guy was trying to use as a helicopter radio with the JRDMSS technology, and we were able to get it, and it took some weird stuff, but it was only involving with the channel assignments right here, with getting the governor to work and the tail and the throttle hold and all that. But under no circumstances should a person have to go into this orientation page and mess with any of this. Right here, I believe if a person was to have, say, like a Raptor, this would be where you would adjust the angle between the servos to reach that 135 degree phasing, and to get your phasing correct between your elevator and your aileron axes, so that things correct properly. You might have to do something with the mixers as well. I'm not sure. I've never had to deal much with adjusting these personally. The only thing I've ever had to adjust was a cyclic ring, and I increased the value just a little bit, and just as minimal as possible, because if you go to messing with that value and get too far out of whack, you can easily cause yourself a tail boom strike. So just keep that in mind, guys. No, like I said, please, just if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to PM any of us, and we'll get back with you just as fast as possible. Thank you for your time, and try to remember, if you don't understand, hit us up, and we'll get back with you as fast as we can. I'm sure somebody, if I don't know, I know somebody who does, and I'm confident enough in saying so that the other guys probably feel the same way. So thank you for your time. Didn't mean to go on and on too long, but kind of did. So anyways, fly safe, have fun.